want to spend the day lying down and dreaming of a way to catch up.
Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be reviewing and kind of discussing Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare. Okay, so I have both of my editions. I have the regular edition, Chain of Gold, and then I have, collector's first edition, nice. And then I have the one from Illuminate Crate that I got in my box last year, and it's so pretty because the binding's orange. So yeah, can't be holding up these books the whole time. Also, I don't know if you noticed behind me, but I have a lot of my Chain of Gold merch that I got from the Illuminate Crate box. So I have the group of thieves over here, James, Cordelia, Lucy, Alistair. I might zoom in and then edit and make a clip. And then over here we have the regular gang. Sorry, you can see the ring light from the Infernal Devices. So Will, Jen, Tessa. Gorgeous, just gorgeous. I have some other stuff over here too that I might make a small clip of. But this section is just kind of my Cassandra Clare section, besides my Neverland and Final Fantasy VI posters over here. But yeah, this I have a whole bookshelf. You can't see it, all of it, but I have a whole bookshelf dedicated to Cassandra Clare and this world that she has made. But yeah, oh god, this is gorgeous. I love this edition. I'm so happy I got the Illuminate Crate. Oh my gosh. Also, I gotta show you one more thing. Oh, it's dusty. It's dusty because I haven't used it. But my little teapot, it says tea is always an excuse for a clandestine agenda. And it's so gorgeous. The plate, the cup, and then the teapot is separate. It's really dusty because I haven't used it, and I have a cat, so there's cat hair all over it. Super gross. Oh, I'm not wearing my clothes, I didn't put it on, but I have my Clockwork Angel necklace too. I ended up putting my Clockwork Angel back on. Yeah, this is my Shadow Hunter kind of corner, because I'll probably do a clip of everything later. But yeah, today I'm going to be talking about and reviewing Chain of Gold, which I finally finished last night. So it took me like, oh my gosh. So this book came out last year, March 2nd, and I got the book day one, and this came later because it was in the Illuminate Crate box. But I got the book day one. I had it day one, and I didn't read it because I knew I was gonna cry. I knew it would hurt. I knew my heart couldn't take it. Cassandra Clare books, they do that to me, and I just can't. Sometimes I just can't. So it took me almost a whole year, because I finished last night, and tomorrow will be February 1st. I don't know when I'm gonna upload this video, but tomorrow will be February 1st. So it almost took me a year to finally read this book, because Chain of Iron comes out, I think March 3rd, I think. So it's coming up pretty quickly, so I was like, I need to read Chain of Gold, because I have this edition, I have my other edition, I listened to the audiobook, some of it, and then I read the book at the same time. So it's like, I just needed to do it, and I'm really glad I did, but my heart is crushed, but at least I won't be waiting a year. But yeah, so let's get into this and let's discuss it. Okay, so Chain of Gold, if you didn't already know, quick summary. Chain of Gold follows Tessa and Will's kids and everybody else that you met in the Infernal Devices, except for Cordelia, but basically follows their kids and their journey. They're like 17, 18, 19. And if you read some of the novellas, then you kind of already got to know some of the kids. Emma Books did a video where she's like, these are the novellas that you should read before you read Chain of Gold. You don't have to, but I'll link it below, but I'm really glad that she had that list, because I actually listened to all the novellas before I went into Chain of Gold to get to know these characters, and I'm so glad that I did, because I love them. Reading those novellas, I was like, I love these characters, and I can't wait to read Chain of Gold, because it was nice to get to know those characters before I went into this and know some of the secrets. because I was watching some of the reviews and I saw this one person was like, oh, who did, it was later on, but like, who did Matthew kill? I was like, it's actually in the novella that you find out what he did. But yeah, like I said, I'm glad I read the novellas, and I think you should too before you read Chain of Gold. But like I said, Chain of Gold follows Will and Tessa's kids, the Herondales, the Fairchilds, the Carstairs, the Lightwoods, etc., and their journey. And basically, there is a new demon sickness going on, and these new demons that just appear and then disappear. They attack you, but they scratch you and then they disappear basically. And whenever they scratch you, it's just like a deadly, like it's like a virus, which is like, yeah, 2020. But like, yeah, that's basically the summary of the book. So I'm going to talk about spoilers, but that's just a quick non-spoilers summary. Is that it follows, you know, the Herondales, etc., kids, their journey, and this new demon that comes to London. So I loved it. I wasn't even 80, no, I'm not gonna even say that. I wasn't even almost finished with chapter 1 and I cried.
This would hurt.
Because, like I said, you should also read the Infernal Devices before you read these books. You should just read all the books in the order of the publication, because you will have a better experience with these books. Like I'm telling you, you will have a better experience. Reading Chain of Gold after reading all the others, and especially the novellas too, I wasn't even 100 pages, like I said, not even into chapter 1 and I was crying. It was a scene where Will found out that his parents died from influenza, and he was really upset, of course, and Tessa was there for him, and Jem showed up, and he just had his head against, Will had his head against Jem. Like when they were just explaining that, I was crying, because their friendship means the whole world to me. And that's why I just love the series so much, and I love the characters. So yeah, I wasn't even almost 100 pages in and I was crying. Like all the Will and Tessa and Jem scenes, I was crying because they were so bittersweet and it was so beautifully written in my heart. And seeing Will be a dad was probably one of the most best things like ever, because he was funny. Like he had some funny quotes. Like I wish I don't know if I saved them or not, but he had some really funny quotes. He said some funny stuff to his kids. Like he was great. Like he was still like fatherly, but he was pretty funny. But so basically, Cordelia is coming to London to become Lucy's parabatai, and Lucy is James's little brother, which is really cute because Will named his son James, which is adorable. So Cordelia comes to London. She is Persian, which is really cool, and so is her brother Alistair. And I thought what was really cool about that is the Persian representation and how well done it was. I saw other people's reviews were like, oh my gosh, like the Persian representation was beautiful, like it was beautifully done. I can't really comment on it because I'm not Persian, but I can comment on seeing yourself and being represented. So having that representation, I totally understand that and I get it. Cordelia, I loved her from when she showed up. I loved her right away. She is just, her personality is just so like honorable, respectful, and it's just like I love her. Everything about her, I love her. So I don't know if I need to go by character when I'm reviewing this. I don't want my review to be too long, so let's just go by character. So let's talk about Will, Tessa, and Jem first. Let's talk about them first. My heart, I don't know if you see them, but they're there. My heart. Like I said, all the scenes with Will, Tessa, and Jem, I cried. They were bittersweet, they were beautiful. Jem wasn't that much, you know, he wasn't in the book that much, but I do appreciate him helping out James as much as he could, because James does have powers, because he is, you know, he does have that demon warlock side inside him, so he can become into shadow, and he's going between a different dimension, like different world, like it's just weird, like a demon world. But Jem is helping him with that, and Jem is also trying to help him find who his grandfather is, and he's been trying to help Tessa do that like you know, after he found out she was a warlock anyways. And then he became a silent brother. But Will, Tessa, and Jim, all the scenes, beautiful. When Will was talking to Tessa and they're in the room, I was crying because it was just beautiful and they were adorable. They're so cute. But I don't have much to say about them because the book isn't really about them. But all the scenes with them, I'm just saying they were precious, they were beautiful in my heart. So bittersweet, and I was like crying. I was listening to the audiobook and I was crying. And I also read the book too. It was nice to listen to the audiobook and follow it. But yeah, that's all I have to say about them because I just, my heart, like, oh, one more thing. I just love how much Will adores Cordelia because she is the Carstairs. I love that. I just, my heart. Okay, I need to stop talking about them. We're gonna cry. So Cordelia and James are adorable together. Like I said before, Cordelia's personality, I love it. She's great. There's a lot of Persian representation and words in this book, and I thought it was really well done. But don't quote me on that. Like I said, I'm not Persian, so I can't really fully quote. But from what other people have said, they absolutely loved it. And thank you, Cassandra Clare, for doing your research and representing that character. Cordelia is amazing, and she has her Cortana blade. She's in love with James, but James is in love with Grace, who I don't like. I don't like her. I don't care if she's being controlled or whatever. I don't like Grace. I don't trust her. I don't like those type of girls who don't like Grace. I don't like Grace at all. Nope. But I love Will. I love Cordelia. There's a lot of characters in this book, and they are actually pretty easy to follow. At first, I didn't get confused. The only thing that confused me was Gabriel and Gideon. I was like, okay, so they're married to who again? Who are their kids? Whose cousins? Yada yada yada, you know. Like, I was just like, ooh, like, it was kind of hard to keep up just a little bit. But since I know, like I said, you should read the other books before you read this one. Since I know all the characters, I'm like, oh, okay, that's right, Gideon's married. Okay, yeah, like, I know. So it just got a little confusing, just a little bit. I can't wait for the second book because I know we're gonna further these relationships. Christopher, I like Christopher. I think he's adorable. Thomas, I'm like, I know Thomas and Alistair, I know they're gonna get together at one point. Alistair is in love with Charles, and Charles Fairchild, which is Matthew's older brother, but Charles is going to marry Adirane, and Anna was in love with her, and she still is. Like, finding out who's in love with who's interested in who is just, it's just a roller coaster. It really is. Okay, let's talk about this plot real quick. So basically, Cordelia comes to London with her mom and her brother, and she's going to be becoming Lucy's parabatai. That's why she's there. Also, her dad is on trial for something, for a mission that went wrong, and you find out later it's because he was drunk when he led that mission, and they can't do the whole mortal sword where he has to tell the truth, etc., because he doesn't remember because he was drunk. Like I said, you find that out later, and you also find out that Sona, Cordelia's mom, is pregnant, which I'm like, but Cassandra Clare had it on her family tree, and there's no, I don't know, that family tree on Clockwork Princess is a lie, and I don't believe it, and I don't know what to believe. I don't. So yeah, so basically that happens with them, so that's part of the plot. Also in the beginning you have Lucy, who sees Jesse for the first time, I think when she was 10, and then later on she sees him again when there's a ball that they're throwing to welcome Cordelia, and everybody goes, and Grace shows up, and basically Lucy can see Jesse. So Jesse's mom is Tatiana from the Infernal Devices, and she is crazy cuckoo, messing with a bunch of demon stuff and necromancy. And she's mad, of course, at the Herondales for killing her dad, who turned into a worm, because he was doing demon stuff. So it's like, why are you, she's just crazy. Like, she is just straight up crazy. So basically, Jesse was really sick ever since he was a kid. He died when he was 17. No, I'm sorry, he died when he was 16. She has his body like to explain it is that she has his body like Snow White. Like, he is just like in a coffin. She just has his body there, and she's trying to bring him back to life, which on the family tree from the Clockwork Princess, on the cover, the cover sheet or whatever, it says that Lucy marries Jesse. So I know Jesse, I know she said that family tree is a lie, but I know Jesse definitely has to come back. Like, he definitely has to come back, and I really hope he does. So basically, he's not really like other ghosts. Like, Lucy's able to touch him. Like, their friendship was really cute. Also, Lucy finds out that she has a power too, just like James, how James can turn into a shadow, that she can not raise the dead, but tell the dead what to do, which is crazy. Because there's this one point where Cordelia, who is a total badass, saves James' life on a bridge, and she gets knocked off the bridge into the water, and Lucy is calling for help, and the dead rise and they help her, and Jesse's like, she was like, you helped me, thank you for showing up. He's like, I wasn't there, like, I heard your call and I showed up. Like, Lucy is powerful too. So basically, there are these demons that are going around London, not killing shadow hunters, but scratching them, which is leading to their deaths. Like, and Barbara Lightwood, Thomas's older sister, dies. Sadly, it was really sad. It's basically this demon virus that just attacks the body, which is like really inconvenient to talk about during COVID. But basically that happens, and they're trying to make an antidote, and it's like they're trying to rush stuff, and basically they're trying to track down this one demon to kill it so it can stop multiplying, because this demon is able to vanish and appear, then disappear, etc., etc. But later on they find out that, of course, you know, Tessa's dad, basically James's grandfather, is behind all of it. But I do think that somebody else is behind it too, because Grace basically puts a bracelet on James to control him, to tell him what to do. And it's so, I'm like, girl, you need to get his consent, because it's so messed up. At one point in the book, she does take it off because she's marrying Charles, or she's going to marry Charles, and he doesn't love her because he never really loved her. Maybe he loved her as like a friend, but he never loved her. And he loves Cordelia, and then she puts it back on, and it's so messed up. Him and Cordelia had like chapter 15, they had like a steam kissing. Like, we know he loves her, and it's just so, like, it's so messed up. So basically, that is, the plot is not, I feel like this is a very character driven story, because the plot is not that big of a deal. It's just basically, there's a new demons coming to London that are able to spread this virus on these shadow hunters if they're scratched, and then basically they have to find this demon or find out what's behind it to kill this demon, etc., etc., to stop all these demons coming in and attacking, etc. Well, Grace is doing her little menacing, and so is Tatiana, who is controlling Grace, which I still don't like Grace. So that's basically it. And then they're still trying to bring Jesse back to life, and I'm like, girl, and Tatiana, and you find out at the very end of the book, is working with Tessa's dad, the Prince of Hell. It's so crazy. Like, the plot's not that crazy, but it's a character driven story, and I love it. The story is amazing. The character stories, like I said, Cordelia, James, perfect. Like, I love James's character. I feel bad for him because he loves Cordelia, but he can't show it because he's being controlled. So basically, towards the end, Grace puts the bracelet back on James, and James does what she told him to burn down the Blackthorn Manor. He goes to do that. He burns it down, and they're like, and Tatiana, like, she has this whole scheme. She's like, he burned it down, blah blah blah, and he did it, blah blah blah. Like, in this meeting, she's like, Grace, tell him, Grace. And I'm like, you crazy? She's so crazy. But Cordelia, being a homie, gets up and was like, he didn't burn down the mansion. He was with me all night, which at that time ruins a lady's reputation if you're alone with a man all night. So James takes her to the back and he's like, why did you do that, blah blah blah. And of course he has that bracelet still on, so he's like, you know, I don't love you, blah blah blah. But he proposes to her and they're going to get married. So this is their, so basically they're going to get married and be married for a year, and then to save her reputation, and then they are going to get a divorce, which is like, when he gets that bracelet off and he's not being controlled anymore, it's going to be so, I'm not ready for that. I know I'm going to cry, and I know it's going to break my heart for James, because he was being controlled. And to me, I'm like, bro, Grace, I don't like Grace, because Grace still had a chance to take it off him and she didn't do it. So basically, Tessa's dad, the Prince of Hell, wants control over, he cannot be in the world physically, he cannot, but he can be in somebody else's body for not that much time. But the only body he can be in is his own blood. He couldn't be in Tessa's body because she had the clockwork angel around her neck, and Ethereal, I think he's called, Raziel or Ethereal, I think, was protecting her. But James is easier to get in his body, so he is trying to get in James's body. At one point, James does figure out who he is and goes to this different dimension, but he doesn't have the bracelet on. So his like grandfather was able to take over his body. At one point, Cordelia goes into that dimension too, and she has Cortana and she wounds him. But it sucks because I think that like he is wounded for like, they can stay wounded for a century. They think he's wounded and he's not gonna come back. But he does say at the end that he has an anchor here, and he's like, they're not gonna see it coming because I have an anchor here, so they don't think I would be back. And I'm like, who is the anchor? Is it Jesse? I feel like it might be Jesse, because I don't know who else it could be. Jesse might be his anchor to be able to come back to that world easier. I don't know. Oh, Chain of Iron comes out in Tomb. I cannot wait. But it's gonna be hurt. It's gonna hurt so much to read it and be like, James, you were marrying Cordelia, and if you took off that bracelet, you know that you truly loved her. Like, this is gonna hurt him. Ooh, I think I mentioned before that Barbara Lightwood, and Thomas's older sister, does die, which is really sad from that demon sickness. But they were able to get a antidote. I almost said vaccine, but they were able to get a antidote to heal everybody else who were, sorry, I'm looking at my cat, I'm like, what are you doing? But they were able to get a antidote to cure everybody else, which is great, but still really sad that she passed on. Tatiana basically wants to destroy all of them, all the Shadowhunters. She's just like really upset. She's just crazy, just like how her dad was. She's crazy, and her goals are just like really crazy. Like, she like blames the Herondales for everything. Like, she hates she blames Will for like everything. And it's just crazy. Also, if you read the Dark Artifices,
can never pronounce it right.
but if you finish that series, and you know that the bad guy in that is Malcolm Fade, he actually shows up because he's a High Warlock of London. He's a High Warlock of London. Malcolm Fade. Oh my god. And I remember, I think it was Cordelia, Anna, and Matthew. They go to this downworld bar or whatever, this club. And Malcolm, I think he straight up asked her, he's like, he's like, you're not a Blackthorn, are you? And she's like, no. He's like, okay. Or no, he asked her, like, you don't have any Blackthorn blood in you, do you? And I'm like, oh my god, scream. Like, oh my god, that callback was so good. I was like, Malcolm, crazy. Like, overall, of course, this book received 5 stars. It was beautiful, it was gorgeous, and Cassandra Clare just does something with her books and her stories that just made me just love it so much. And sorry if I was just rambling about just like different parts of the book, but I just wanted to ramble a little bit and discuss it. I think I talked about all the characters. Overall, I do love all of the characters in this book except for Grace. I don't trust her, I don't like her, and I hate Tatiana too. And I hope in the next book, I hope at the end, maybe my theory is that Jesse comes back to life. Like, I'm not sure what's gonna happen, but my theory basically is that we're just gonna follow them for the whole year of them being married. And at one point, I feel like the bracelet will be taken off his arm, but I don't know what Tatiana has planned. I really don't. Or the grandfather, like the Prince of Hell. I don't know what they have planned, and I'm scared because I know he's gonna make their lives a living hell. And I just want Cordelia and Will, sorry, I just want Cordelia and James to be happy together, not Will, my bad. But it was nice seeing Tessa, Will, and Jim in this, of course, and Magnus Bane, like always, he's great. One more thing I want to touch on before I go is the fact that I don't really, okay, so the Infernal Devices did a really great job at, you know what, I'm gonna end this, hold on. So the Infernal Devices did a really great job on a love triangle, and at one point, Matthew, I think he loved Lucy, but I think he's also falling for Cordelia, and I know he goes both ways, but it's like, what if he's actually falling for, maybe he's in love with James, just like how Alec was in love with Jace. I hope that's just the case, because if he's in love, I think he might be in love with Cordelia. If he is, I'm gonna be kind of pissed, because I'm like, please don't. I don't need another love triangle. Please don't, bro. Like, don't, please. No. They're like, Thomas is hot. Christopher's kind of cute too. I don't know which way he goes, but Thomas definitely goes both ways probably, or just one way. But it's like, come on, Matthew. There's so many other characters. Please don't. I don't want a love triangle. I can't do it. Can't do another love triangle. And the love triangle in Infernal Devices was amazing. And so I was like, Matthew, no, I can't do it. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that real quick. Overall, this book was a 5-star book. Can't wait for Chain and Iron in 2 months. It's gonna be amazing. Oh my gosh, this book was amazing. It made me cry, made me laugh. It just made me cringe just a little bit, made me angsty, like, ooh. Like, this book was amazing and I loved it, and definitely pick it up and read it if you have read all the, like, you don't have to read the TMI books too, but it is a better experience to have read them all before you go into this. It's like the cherry on top of the cake and the sprinkles. That's what it is for me. And like, the cake is like TMI, the frosting is Infernal Devices, some of the like crumbles on top is the dark artifices, and then this over here is like the sprinkles, and that's a lot of toppings, but you get what I'm saying. But yeah, this book, 5 stars. I loved it. I'm so glad I already finished it. And I will show a clip of like the stuff that I have over here. But yeah, thanks for watching. This is my little shadow hunter corner. I need to kind of just like redo some of the stuff. So basically all the Infernal Devices and the Dark Artifices. I love that. Clockwork Princess, like the original covers with the Shadow Market. I do need to get the last 3 TMI books. I don't have those, but I do have the Shadow Hunter Academy, the Bane Chronicles, the teapot that I got from the Illuminate Crate with that chain of gold, the original Dark Artifices chain of gold. I just need to like collect them all, if I'm being real. I have some cards with all their faces on them that I showed in my Illuminate Crate unboxing video. I'm gonna just move my guy from Pan-Labyrinth out of the way, but isn't those precious from the Infernal Devices? Will, I believe that's supposed to be Jim. Oh my gosh, I don't know that as well. I don't know, but like, oh gosh, it's so pretty. But my most favorite thing is this. This is gorgeous. And oh gosh, I love these prints. And then I have my Shadow Hunter chain of gold calendar. I'm so happy that I got. Yeah, but January is Matthew. Let me show the others in a sec.
Do you want to spend the day lying down and dreaming of a way catch a plane to Tokyo and find a serotonin overload. You and I, we're the best of friends. You're my Bonnie, I'm your Clyde. We'll be set in trance. I'm the salt, you're my pepper. Being next to you makes me better. Lazy days, lying underneath the golden.
Tessa, Will, and Will Herondale. I cried when I saw this. My heart stopped. This is beautiful, and I love it. And I just think that they're so good. Will is so precious. I love him, and Tessa's gorgeous. My heart. Look at him. He's supposed to be like 42, and he's still really handsome. And everybody, they note that all the time. It's like, oh, Will is like super handsome. Like he is. This boy is 42, and he is just, God, oh my God. I love them both. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.